Good day, everyone. Welcome to Real Conservative News. I'm your host, Nathaniel Rajkumar. Starting off locally here in Trinidad and Tobago, Energy Minister Roodal Moonilal will continue pitching the restart of the Petrotrin refinery at the Guyana Energy Conference, which begins today, and has assured that the Oilfield Workers Trade Union remains engaged with the government on all refinery-related matters. Moonilal confirmed this to the TNT Guardian ahead of his trip to Guyana, where he will participate in the week-long conference. A 5-member delegation will accompany him. Regarding progress on the refinery, Moonilal said the ministry is compiling documents to send to Indian Oil Corporation, which has expressed strong interest in Trinidad and Tobago. Let's hope that that deal materializes. It's really important to open that refinery, reopen that refinery this year. Remember, Petrotrin is the backbone of our economy and, of course, the energy industry. We just have to make sure that we remain the majority shareholder. Addressing questions about whether the OWTU, currently carrying debts, is in a suitable financial position to invest in the refinery, Moonilal said, "We are involved with the OWTU. There's a partnership there, people. There was an agreement that was made during the election campaigning. And therefore, they need to hold to their agreement. Promise made, hopefully promise kept. They are, of course, a partner in our administration," Moonilal went on to say, "and have worked with us tirelessly for our revolutionary change in April 2025. OWTU President Ansel Roger did not respond to queries yesterday regarding the union's specific role in the refinery restart or whether it intends to bid, partner with an entity, or provide services. Senior OWTU officials said the union remains committed to being part of the restart process and that tangible efforts towards this are ongoing." Don't go anywhere yet. There's still a whole lot more local, regional, international news to discuss, and also the interesting facts segment. Man dies after accident in Guyana, Tobago involving a car and a motorcycle. He has been identified as Shaquille Anthony Shade, 29, of Mason Hall, Licoto Road, Tobago. Shade, who played football with Stokely Vale, celebrated his 29th birthday, young man, last week, Thursday. My response, condolences to the family, of course, but my response, the traffic tickets prevent this tragedy from occurring. Zakur, UNC. I wonder if the car was defective. My dear conservative UNC patriots online on Facebook. Did Casper the Jumbie cause this accident? Or maybe, just maybe, speeding, reckless driving are the actual reasons why most accidents occur. A new state-of-the-art agricultural training facility is to be established in Region 6, Berbice, as part of a wider push to modernize Guyana's agricultural sector and develop a robust food industry. This was revealed on Saturday by President Dr. Irfan Ali during the commissioning of the Guyana Technical Training College at Port Morant. During his address, Dr. Ali explained that the training center will be designed to support the industrialization of agriculture and foster the growth of a modern food industry, positioning Region 6 as a key hub in Guyana's broader economic transformation, seeking the needs and the development of Guyana and its people throughout the entire country. That's what Irfan Ali does best. The Ministry of Health and Wellness is moving to assess the structural integrity of 105 centers that were damaged in the wake of Hurricane Melissa in Jamaica. Portfolio Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton said the ministry has engaged 4 to 5 engineering firms to examine the facilities that were in the hurricane's primary impact zone. The assessment, he said, will determine whether walls remain sound, if roofs can be restored, and what reinforcement is needed for those with concrete slabs versus zinc roofing. Yeah, if it has the proper pillars or whatsoever, best if just restore it with concrete instead of zinc again. Tufton further stated that the review will also determine the cost associated with repairing each of the 105 centers. Of course, the Andrew Holness administration needs to play a major part in this restoration. but also there's need for a lot more contributions to be given from the Caribbean partners, yes, but also from the international governments, those that have a lot of money to be sending to places like Gaza. A $1.9 billion national budget was approved by in St. Vincent and the Grenadines Parliament on Friday, February 13th, 2026, bringing the budget debate to a close. In his wrap-up presentation, Prime Minister and Minister of Finance, Dr. Godwin, Friday, reiterated that his government will be truthful to the people and committed to delivering on the measures outlined in the budget. There are no new taxes. This is what I love about it. There are no new taxes in this year's budget, which represents a 2% increase over last year's allocation. In Trinidad, though, the budget allocation is huge, but the government, sadly, UNC, went against their traditional style of governance and decided to impose new fines, fees, and even new taxes. The Prime Minister said the budget addresses several key issues affecting citizens and was carefully prepared with the needs of the people in mind. Dr. Friday also responded to and clarified questions raised by opposition members, describing their contribution to the debate as disappointing.
The 2026 budget of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. What they would not acknowledge, but what is evident from everything that you read in that document, Madam Speaker. And I challenge anyone, take this document, compare it to anything that you've seen from the past 25 years, and tell me that it's not a strikingly different document in terms of tone, construction, and the vision that it presents to the people of this country. It represents, Madam Speaker, a fundamental shift in governance. The content of what we will deliver, and in how we will deliver it.
International news now. Canada's Foreign Affairs Minister Anita Anand says Ottawa will not restore diplomatic relations with Iran unless there is regime change, rightfully so. And that's coming from a leftist government in Canada, which makes it even more amazing. This comment was made in an interview while attending the Munich Security Conference. Canada already had no diplomatic relations with Iran prior to the statement, since ties were severed in 2012. So thankfully, even the leftist regimes decided not to restore any sort of diplomatic ties. Meanwhile, Biden did that back a few years ago. Canada isn't cutting relations now. It's reiterating that it won't reestablish them absent regime change. And once again, rightfully so. And that's what the rest of the world should be doing as well. But besides that, even with all that type of diplomatic measures being put in place, we all know what needs to be done. Israel and the USA, Trump needs to get the job done. Finish the job in Iran. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu detailed 4 components required in an agreement with Iran. Otherwise, he's not going to agree with it. All enriched uranium must be removed from Iran's borders. 100% correct with that demand. Removal of all uranium enrichment equipment from Iran so that enrichment capability is eliminated. That's common sense, people. Iran's ballistic missiles must be limited to a range of 300 kilometers. And also, finally, dismantling the terror axis, the Iranian proxy in the Middle East. In other words, they're going to have to stop funding Hamas, Hezbollah, and the Houthis.
But I said that if a deal is to be reached, it should have several components that we believe are important not only for the security of Israel, but for the security of the world, the United States, the region, the world. The first is that all enriched material has to leave Iran. The second is that there shall be no enrichment capability, not stopping the enrichment process, but dismantle the equipment and the infrastructure that allows you to enrich in the first place. And the third is to deal also with the questions of ballistic missiles. There's an MTCR limitation of 300 kilometers, and Iran is supposed to adhere to it. Of course it doesn't, as the Rising Lion operation by itself manifested. Everybody knows that. And the fourth is dismantle the axis of terror that Iran has built. It's been smashed, but it's still there. It's trying to recover, as Iran itself is trying to do. And the last thing is, remember Ronald Reagan's dictum vis-a-vis the Soviet Union? Trust but verify. Distrust, distrust, and always verify. So there has to be real inspections, substantive inspections, no lead time inspections, but effective inspections for all of the above.
Closing off now with the interesting facts segment in what is being called one of the greatest returns on investment in internet history. A Malaysian man has sold the premium domain AI.com for a staggering $70 million. The jaw-dropping transaction represents one of the most lucrative digital real estate sales ever recorded. The backstory makes this massive payday even more incredible. Back in 1993, long before the internet was a household utility and decades before the current artificial intelligence boom, the seller was just a 10-year-old boy, a kid, living in Malaysia. He registered the domain for a mere $100. For 33 years, he held on to that specific piece of digital real estate. Just that name, you know, people. Well, I mean, the website itself, of course. But remember, nobody else could get that name. However, as artificial intelligence exploded into a massive global industry, short and memorable two-letter domains perfectly matching the sector became incredibly scarce and highly coveted. Cashing out for $70 million after over 3 decades cements the simple $100 childhood purchase as an absolute legendary stroke of luck and patience. He didn't know it was going to happen. I don't even know what was his reason for naming it AI.com back then, but it definitely was a good idea. Folks, that brings us to the end of today's news report. Thanks again to everyone who continues to support my content. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Stay blessed and stay safe, most of all, in Jesus' name.